What an amazing audience we have today. It's so amazing. The energy here is so good. We could power the entire Bitcoin mining rig. And of course, I can't bring up Polkadot because we are way too energy efficient. Today I'll be a presenter. I'll be presenting about cross virtual machine or interoperability within smart contracts in a multi-chain future. So I am your speaker. My name is Hoon. I am the CTO of Astar Foundation, the company behind Astar Network, and people also call me the Chief Techno Officer, Chief Talk Officer, because I do love talking. And I'm going to be promoted to Chief Entertainment Officer as someone who's the most funniest in the company. All right. So first, about Astar Network. To simply put, we are a parachain, a layer 1 smart contract platform. We call ourselves the innovation layer of Polkadot, or the contract layer of Polkadot, because you've seen a lot of parachains here. They all have their own specific applications, a lot of use cases, a lot of great value. But how can we open those up for even more synergy and developers to come in and really leverage their creativity and be an innovator? See, we enable cross-chain functions at your fingertips through smart contracts, by leveraging all the values that other parachains are offering, and through Polkadot's cross-consensus message formats, you're able to create new features by combining the features of other parachains. So we have a lot of features in our network, and due to the time scope that I have for this presentation, I won't be able to go through everything. So I'm just going to quickly go through a couple of highlights, and then I'll just focus on one grand feature that I really want to share with you guys. The first thing is that we are a multi-virtual machine platform. We are really focusing on smart contracts. And when I say smart contracts, I'm not just referring to the whole Solidity part. Like, we're not backing our guns at all. Like, we're going full in there. Because we support both EVM, Ethereum Virtual Machine, the ones that you'd see in, Ethereum, as the name suggests, but also Polygon and many popular blockchains that you might have known. But we also support WebAssembly Virtual Machine on top of that, which means, or on the side of it, technically speaking, which means that you're able to write smart contracts using other languages that can compile down into WebAssembly, like Rust, Go, C++. At the moment, in the Polkadot ecosystem, we focus on Ink, the EDSL of Rust. And this opens up so much potential for what you can do with the smart contract. Another thing that we offer is dApp staking. So this is the reason why we call ourselves the innovation layer, because if you look at the current blockchain industry, Web3 industry, I think the previous discussion on brain drain, there was a pretty good point about all dApps being like a fork of each other. They're just copying each other. There's no innovation happening. And we totally agree with that, because if you look at the current blockchain industry, like the market, if you look at the news, what's the project you see? Another ERC20, another NFT. And if you look at the technical what's going on in the background, under the hood, they're all pretty much the same thing, a fork of each other with maybe some incremental improvements. And incremental improvements are fine, because that is the breeding ground for innovation. But if your value proposition is that, oh, hey, we're NFTs with 3D, or we're NFTs with music, or whatever, but fundamentally, if the business model relies on the fact that your assets that other people will have to buy in will appreciate at some point, and then you cash out, that's not a sustainable business. In Astar Network, we offer a platform where anyone, any Astar token holders, can directly stake their tokens to a smart contract, and the project creators will earn staking rewards based on the staking amounts that they're receiving. Similar to how proof-of-stake validator rewards are working, but in this case, we switch that into dApp rewards. And we can do this because we're a parachain. We don't need validators. Polkadot are the one who offers all the security. And this is similar to how Patreon works. If you've been to the creator economy, you've seen a lot of these kind of stuff. And this is similar, but in a non-custodial, decentralized platform that focuses on innovation, dApps with value. And of course, we have a lot of partners, and if I were to list all the partners in our slide, it's going to be really full, so I just keep with the, it's only added the major ones that's recently happening, except for Polkadot, we've been there for way too long. For example, Toyota, Sony, We've been partnering up. They have an incubation program on Astar. They're also an investor, but also they have their own projects that they want to work on, and we're working closely with them as a network was really big in Japan. We also partner up with goddamn cities, the Shibuya city in Tokyo, the Sendai city, Fukuoka. Yeah, what kind of blockchain partners with cities, right? Now, here's the main topic: smart contracts. So, smart contracts is the way how you actually program on a blockchain, but there's a huge problem when it comes to the language of it. And I'm not just talking about what language you're writing in, but also how do contracts actually communicate with each other? If we want to create a multi-chain environment, a multi-chain future where your project is not isolated, but your projects can actually work with other projects, other consensus mechanisms, there's a lot of issue. And it's not just that. It's also an issue when it comes to the actual virtual machine in which the contracts are running in, because they have different APIs. And this is a huge issue. Like, just for a temperature check, like who is first time in Web3? Who's a newbie in the Web3 industry? Like, just raise your hands. See one, yeah, okay. So I see that a lot of people are somewhat experienced. But for those of you who don't know Web3 a lot, Telegram is sort of the main way how we communicate. Whenever you meet a new person, when you network, use Telegram. But if you look at the messaging industry, like instant messaging applications, there's a lot of services out there. There's WhatsApp, or well, Telegram, you use it for connecting with crypto companies or for your work. You have WhatsApp to use with your friends, family, your girlfriend. You also have Signal. You can use it for talking with your drug dealer and your other girlfriend. You also have Element to use to complain with with Parity and everyone else you're working with, because I don't know why the fuck they want to use Element, but it's decentralized, so I love it. I'm not complaining, but if you look at all these messages, they're all running on the same protocol, HTTP, WebSocket, whatever. This is what Polkadot is kind of doing, offering as the relay chain that facilitates the interoperability. But I'm pretty sure every one of you here might have thought of this at some point. Why can't I just send a message from my Telegram app to WhatsApp? It's not that easy, though. Even if they're using the same protocol, there are different, syntaxes. There's some different nuances involved in those applications that makes it impossible. Well, in Astar Network, we have cross-virtual machine. And to use this allegory in how we facilitate that sending message to another app, you see, XCM and Polkadot as a whole could be the HTTP, and parachains are essentially those messaging applications. But if you want to send a message that is actually readable and interoperable between applications, you need to go through another layer. And in Astar Network, through cross-virtual machines, you're able to interact with WebAssembly smart contracts that's written in Rust, C++, Go, whatever, with your traditional EVM smart contracts in the same network, within Astar Network, that is. That's written in Solidity and uses the traditional EVM or Ethereum RPCs and APIs that you're used to. But we act as the layer in which because you're able to communicate from WASM to EVM simultaneously, call any contracts in the EVM side using WASM and vice versa, it makes interoperability much easier. And we act as this layer of communication where we use WebAssembly to natively communicate with other parachains in the Polkadot ecosystem. EVM is also compatible. It could be connected with other blockchains that's out there, and using another layer 0 protocol like Axelar. So you can now have native communication with Polygon that can also use XVM or cross-virtual machine to access the WASM smart contract environment, which then will expand back into the broader Polkadot ecosystem. So what we do is we enable people to not be a silo, not be isolated, but actually be a full innovative machine. And the conclusion here is, with Astar Network, you can be the star of Web3. You can build what you want. You can be innovative as you want. You don't have to think about the token economics. I mean, okay, maybe you might want to if you want to be really successful, but the whole point is that it's not about the money. It's about the value that you really bring to the users. You don't have to be isolated anymore. When you're building on Ethereum or Polygon, you're always into that same network, and you're using bridges which are inherently risky in terms of security. But now we have full interoperability thanks to Cross Virtual Machine. Thank you.